Hi friends, so I'm Lauren, this is Shay, and unfortunately the other video, the live one that we did, didn't go through. I wasn't able to record it. So I'm just doing a short one right now to kind of give you guys an idea of what we did today and to just do a little bit of learning. We did start with some yoga, and you can do that with your kiddos and start off as a little egg, roll up in a ball, and then crack your egg open and burst through and try to fly around the room. So why don't you start with that and do a little bit of movement. And then after we'll come over and do our toilet paper roll craft, and we're gonna make binoculars just like this, and you can do it with tape, without, and you'll obviously be making it a little bit prettier and more decorative. They were on the other video. This one's just to show them what we did. So one thing that we talked about is that a defining feature for birds is that they all have feathers. Birds also lay eggs, and they also, some fly, but that's not a defining feature because, well, one, not all birds fly, which we'll talk about, and two, other animals can fly, like bats, and some other animals lay eggs, like reptiles. So feathers, if you see an animal with feathers, it's a bird. They can live in trees, they can build nests in the ground, and that depends on the bird. It also depends on if they can fly or not. So obviously a bird that can't fly will not have a nest in a tree. So as we start this craft, I'll start talking about what you can do. You can just decorate. You can use paints, you can do stickers, markers, and decorate that. And we're also going to have holes in the sides, two sides of it, which you can do before or after. So I already put the holes in his, and he can color it, and then afterwards I'll tie it up and put it together as binoculars.
I want it yellow on here.
Yeah, you got paint on there? All right, let me clean that up. So there are a couple things, and I'll post pictures of what I'm talking about. I showed it in the class, but I can post pictures into a separate thread where I post this video. So the largest bird is an ostrich. Ostriches are actually taller than most people, so they could be 7 to 9 feet. So for instance, his daddy is 6 feet. I'm 5 feet. So that is very tall. It's much taller than me. And then a hummingbird is the smallest bird, and they are very tiny. They can fit in the palm of your hand.
I put this.
Yeah, it's green.
And put its colors.
Oh, you ran out of room. Maybe on top. So some animals can't fly like an ostrich, and one reason is because they're so big and heavy that they wouldn't be able to get up into the air. Ostriches have done a really good job of being able to do well on the ground, so they don't need to fly. Some animals have adapted to not fly because they don't need to for however their lives are. So penguins are another example of birds that don't fly. You'll see them kind of waddle around. They do have wings, they do have feathers, but they tend to do a lot of swimming. So that's kind of funny how some animals are in the sky and some can swim.
Something.
Yeah, you can paint something. Do you want to do this one right here? Oh yeah, you can start with that. So feathers, so all birds have feathers, and feathers help keep them warm, and they can fluff up and keep themselves all warm in the winter. Some animals also migrate in the winter, or some birds, and sometimes you'll see them up in the sky in big groups, and they tend to go where it's a lot warmer in the south, and up where we are in Washington, it's kind of cold. So depends on the bird. Some birds are able to stay. You'll see ducks around in the winter still, and some have just adapted to live in the cold. Another thing about feathers is it helps control flight for those that do fly. So they can help them move around. If you see how a bird, it might be good to watch videos on birds on how they fly. Some really cool ones are my favorite, like hawks and falcons and stuff, because they are just really interesting birds that can go really fast, and they can dive down to catch their prey.
No.
Another thing that...
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Paint over.
Paint on your hands. Another thing that feathers can help with is it can show the difference between a male and a female. So a male would be like a boy, female is a girl, and Shay, please don't get them on your hands. And the boys, the males, tend to have more vibrant colors. So like we were talking about with the ducks can, if you look at ducks, like mallards, the males will have the greener, brighter colors, and the females will be more gray and brown. And they also can use their feathers as camouflage to kind of hide from their environment. So I will also post pictures of some really cool animals that are using camouflage. For nests, that they can use things that they find around, so it depends on also where they live. So they'll use whatever they can find, twigs, leaves, feathers, flowers, and they make a cool nest. Mud, some use mud to keep it together. That would also be another cool project for us to do another day, is to make our own nests. I think that would be a lot of fun. And another cool thing that is about birds is they have different sounds. So if you look and you watch birds, some will make very different sounds. Some will, a crow will go more like caw, caw, which is what I was when we were doing our yoga. I like being a crow because I like their sounds. And he wanted to be a whole crow, which was a pretty interesting sound as well. Anyway, so let me just kind of go over again. So as you're doing your craft, you're going to have string or yarn, and you're going to tie it to the two holes. I just used a pencil because I don't have a hole punch, so I just poked a pencil in there. And you can either glue it together, or you can do tape. So whatever you'd like to do. I just used tape for mine. I might do glue for his, to kind of keep it together. And there you have it. And you can put it around your head and watch for birds, and let me know what you guys find. And I would love to see what you guys have made as well. So sorry the other one didn't work out. It had a little bit more detailed info, and the yoga as well, but hopefully this helped a little bit to get you guys started. So thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next time.
We see.